going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the single player Let's Play series. So, I do apologize. It's been a very, very, very long time since I've loaded up this world. In fact, I had to kind of maybe watch my last episode to help refresh my memory. It's been a long time. I haven't recorded an episode since the end of July, and we're in the middle of September. And the reason being is at the end of July I had an operation, and everything's been going well, but it had me under close watch for probably, I don't know why that's not working anymore, for probably 2 weeks or so-ish, a week or two. So, you know, it was a process, and of course I had to be watched the whole time, so you're receiving power. I bet I know what's wrong here. So yeah, as you can see, we aren't getting power down here, and that's not a huge deal for now, but we can fix this. I'm betting, too, of course I would make it so that I can't, or it would drop so that I couldn't reach it. I would be willing to bet that this guy is also, not this guy, yeah, actually this guy, and I was correct. It is indeed losing power. You can see it's at 9,700 instead of the 100,000 that it's supposed to be at. So yeah, definitely offline for power. Again, I know a solution for it. It's just a confusion that happens, which isn't a big deal. So yeah, operation, doing fine now. Everything's great. Minor infection that they had to poke a pretty big hole in me, and I still have a pretty big hole in my like waist-ish area, but that's okay. Not really all that terrible. So, to fix our power problem over there, we're gonna need another energy cell. The reason that this is happening makes perfect sense, actually, if you think about it. The wire coils from Immersive Engineering will both withdraw and intake power. Well, it doesn't know, since a flux duct will do the same thing, it doesn't know which one the flux duct is doing, and so in this instance it assumed that it was being that the flux duct was a source for it to draw from. So it's actually extracting instead of inserting power down that wire line. No big deal. Again, you can solve this pretty simply over here with a leadstone or any sort of definitely not going to do just leadstone. We're definitely going to upgrade it, but we can do an energy cell to solve this problem. So yeah, you'll have to excuse me. I haven't played this pack in a very long time, so there are some things that I'm going to have to remind myself of. So what have I been doing in the meantime if I've been just fine? Well, school started at mid-July, so work and school flow has been actually not that bad. It's my first semester of grad school, and it's tolerable. It's more work, but it's not so much that I haven't been able to enjoy my time. Well, my car broke down, and it's still broken. I still don't have a car, and I live 2 hours away from friends and family. Fortunately, it broke down while I was with friends and family, but it meant that I had no way to get back home. So either way, I was in trouble. And I still am. I've discovered that there's a good chance that the car will never be fixed because the issue with it is a embedded computer chip in the engine that controls the entire freaking engine, and it's looking to be a cost that about matches the cost of the car itself. And at that point, it is no longer worth doing. So there's that, and then finally got back. And then from there, my only excuse was the fact that I was really mad, and I needed something to lighten my mood. So, because I've had a lot of bad luck lately. I got hand, foot, and mouth from a toddler of my mom's, and it's just been... I've had a terrible time, honestly. It's been way better, though. Had a really great weekend. But yeah, so the first weekend that I was back was the worst, or was starting out as the worst. So to brighten my mood up, I played my mod server for the whole weekend, which was fun. And then last Friday, my mod server got hacked. And all of my files got encrypted. So all of the server's progress got reset unexpectedly because, well, some guy felt bored enough that they thought this was going to be a fun idea. Which I find incredibly funny because, really, you could have hacked 100 servers that would be way more useful than my game server, which isn't a powerful machine. So, yeah, that was, I got that fixed, but I lost all my files by fixing it. It wasn't like it was the free fix. So, yeah. And then in the last 10 days or so, I have been hooked on the most bizarre of things I think I would ever get hooked on. I grew up playing The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, so this came no shock to me that it's a fun game and I know it inside and out and yada yada yada. Well, come to find out, some sneaky people out there in the world of modding ROMs have made a ROM hack for it that randomized, and this isn't new by the way, I'm just new to knowing it, they have randomized the order and appearance of every chest in the game. So what this means is that you could start off and never acquire the sword from the first from the first iteration of the playthrough that you're supposed to be playing through as a kid. Now, granted, some things are unlocked. Here you can see, by the way, power is going to go in here now. So that was a fix. But yeah, so you can still, like, some things are unlocked automatically because they know that if you can't get out of here, then you have no way of progressing in the game. And then it also makes sure that certain things, like you'll be able to get all the keys to navigate through a dungeon, you'll be able to get through the entire game. There is some logic actually built in to make 100% certain that it is possible for you to complete the game. And so I actually played it all the way through, did not have to cheat and look up where certain items were hidden. I just had to suck it up and deal with it sometimes, because I had some bad luck on that too, but not terrible luck, it was just like bleh luck. And finally beat a level of that, and so I re-randomized it because it gets a different result every time. And lately I've been playing that with an actual USB N64 controller. But I realized today that I missed you guys and I missed editing and that I needed to get off my butt and start recording again because it's fun. And I like video editing and I haven't had that available to me to do, so because you can't edit video if you don't record any video. So here I am. So now that all of my babbling and gibberish is done, we've got the power situation fixed, we need to look at actually using this. Now, we can start by using it. There's a few ways that we can start by using it. Honestly, the prettiest way to use it, we want to start by making a whole bunch of stuff still. So remember last episode, we actually made a crap ton of these controller blocks, and we'll come down here and make sure that they're all powered like they're supposed to be, but I think we should be in good shape. Yep, we're good. So this guy is getting power. We have places where we can interface with it, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't have a right-click interface. It's just sort of like a converter / logic controller, basically. So we need to do stuff with it. The first thing that I want to do is I want to automate the inscribing process, because the inscribing process is the one thing that we're going to be doing so often from here on out that it's just not worth doing manually any longer. So to do this, we're going to want 4 more inscribers, and you're going to see why. My setup here is actually not... how do I put this? I haven't looked one up in so long, so I don't know that it's original or not. At this point, it's just kind of embedded in my head. I know other people do this, so I can't call it like one of a kind, because it's not. But it's definitely one of those things where it's like, I've just done this for... How long has Applied Energistics 2 been out? How long have we had to cope with these silly new recipes that are... they're actually reasonable. I don't hate them. They're just another step. So we're going to need to craft 8 pistons, which of course requires 8 sticky pistons. Vice versa, actually. We need 8 sticky pistons, which will require 8 pistons. Derp. And then sticky pistons. Do I have any slime balls undone already? Well, I guess we'll just use these. Oh, those... For some reason I thought those bundled in... Come on, there we go. I thought those bundled in groups of 4, not 9. Goes to show you how much I play vanilla Minecraft nowadays. But yeah, so the Ocarina of Time randomizer is actually super duper fun. I strongly suggest it if you own the game. I'm going to be very clear here. I own Ocarina of Time 3D and have owned Ocarina of Time for the N64. Like, I've been there, I've done that, I've got it, I've had it. I think it's very important that if you're going to download a game, like if you're going to download a ROM, which is illegal, that it's legal by the ramifications that you do own it, and I feel like that is a ramification that's completely valid, and I kind of stand by that. Like, I understand that when you're young or when you're poor, don't have the ability to pay for it, that's different. But if you have the ability to pay for it and you're just being cheap, the quality of any game on the proper console is always going to be superior than the mod. And honestly, I would play this on the original console if it weren't for the fact that A, I no longer have an N64. All I have is a GameCube, and B, in order to play it on a classic, vanilla hardware N64, you have to have, basically, it's like an SD card adapter. What are you doing out? Go away. You basically have to have an SD card adapter. What are these buggers doing? To adapt the N64 cartridge to an SD card, to which you would still end up loading the ROM onto. So it's like, okay, well, I still have to have the ROM, which is the part that I would be trying to avoid either way, so what the heck is the point? So yeah, I've been playing that lately. It's not a new moon, it's a freaking midday. Oh well. Oh, you know what? I did change some of the V-tweaks code a little bit, and I haven't pushed the newest new change. So this is actually technically below quote-unquote sea level. My bad. I have a hard time determining what is considered like the surface of an area. Look at this guy. So I have to kind of generalize it a little bit. And so I've actually added a config option for it. So I think I've finally gotten everything out of my system. It's been a long time since I've seen you guys. I felt like we had to catch up, you know? So yeah. Where was I? So we are going to automate this system with Ender.io. That is the default, like, de facto easiest way to do this. There's not really much sense in doing it the hard way, if you ask me. We're going to go ahead and revert all of this stuff around. Oh, I actually should probably add the content tweaker tweak to fix that. Because, yeah, the reason we're doing all this applied energistics stuff, if you don't know what the mod is all about, is that we have a lot of items and not much place to store them anymore. We're running out of space pretty quickly. So we are going to digitize our storage a little bit. Not all of it will be digitized. I do plan on using storage drawers quite a bit. But, yeah, it's just kind of a thing that we're going to be doing in the next little while. So we're going to need some filters. In fact, oh, I didn't know I had those here. I'm going to bring that down to that energy cell downstairs. That'll be good. Sorry, that took me completely off guard. I haven't played this world in way too long. We're going to need each one of these inscriber presses, which is good. Now these are not in a chest anymore. Hooray! We need... Well, we're gonna need to get power. I guess we can do, like, redstone, or do I have a lesser tier? Not really. Although I have enhanced energy conduits, which would probably be the better bet. So we should get a capacitor bank as well, so that we can convert the power. So capacitor bank is gonna be 4 capacitors, which I think is... I actually no longer remember any of the Ender.io recipes now that they've thrown me off with these new shenanigans. Was that copper? Copper and gold. And then that was iron and a block of redstone. So we're going to want to... The reason I'm doing this is because we're going to need pretty much every side of our... of some of our inscribers. And so it's... What did I... Oh. Whoops. And so it's particularly easier to do it when you have some sides where you can share what goes in and out. So being able to distribute the power through the same side as an item filter or an item conduit perhaps goes through definitely kind of helps us out here. So we're going to need a bunch more of these. We're going to need, like, probably... How many chests do I have, and can I get more? Probably... We're going to say 5 of these, just to be on the safe side, so we get 9 filters. They're not exactly cheap to make, but I understand why they're this way. And I can't really argue with it. Paper. I don't suppose I have a bunch just sitting around, so we'll just make some. Wait. If I did, it would be here. Yep, there it is. Called it. Knew I should check. And there we go. So we can put this back. Put that back. We are going to need our Yeta wrench for sure. We have our inscribers. We're probably going to need an input and output chest. We'll just use a storage crate. And we'll just use 2 chests. And I think we're finally good. So let's go have fun with it, shall we? If we run over here to the factory, we can run downstairs. And then if we have... See, we've got these spots over here that have 1. I feel like... Because I don't want to cramp this all together. We can't really. Anyways, I don't think. Not actually too sure about that. So it's a good thing we have the painting machine, because we can actually cover a lot of this up, and that would make it a lot prettier. So if we put all 5 of these here, then we would have silicon. I always go in order of like the worth of the material that goes inside of them. Alright, so now what we would have... We're going to have to tear our stuff down a little bit, but that's fine. 5... And we are absolutely going to need to use that painting machine to make some conduit facades, but that's fine as well. So we have all of our stuff here. Pretty okay. We're going to go steal some power from this power line, and by steal I mean borrow. Because realistically, everything is meant to be shared down here, so that's fine. So if we grab power here, basic capacitor, and we tell it to output on the front and input on the back, we can then route our energy conduits, and these can go kind of on whatever side, which is the nice part of this. Now, ideally, we would do the back so that we don't have to cover the top or the bottom as much as we may end up needing to in the end. It just, you know, one less thing that we have to do would be better. We'll make it so we can see all of them. And so if we do that, then we're going to want conduits all the way down to there. Cool. So I need a way out. There we go. So the way this is going to work... just realized I forgot some critical stuff. I need ingredients to white and blacklist. And with that, we may also want to make another thing. Realize that there's another kind of important component that we're missing from this that I don't think we've made yet, and that is correct, we haven't. Okay, well, remember all that stuff we were just doing, put it on the back burner, we'll come back to it before the end of the episode. Because what we need to do now is we need to make the crystal growth accelerator, and these guys are not that bad. We're gonna need some quartz glass, and I think I can probably start cooking up a little bit, but I'll probably end up wanting more. So let's go grab like maybe 15. Run over here. And so if I'm wanting quartz glass, I want something that doesn't get smelted. Oof, that takes a while. My egg mill is probably going to be faster than that. Called it. Because we're going to want quartz glass. Quartz glass is just glass and quartz. There we go. So now, the reason we want these, we're going to want probably 4 or 5 of these. It just kind of depends. If I can make 5, which I definitely can, then that would be nice. Oh, we need even more crushed quartz. I'm just going to go take like a stack of it over here. Why not? And now we can get started. So we're going to want... we're going to make a bunch of these. We're going to need them later anyways. And then... This is going to get 8. Oh. It's not quite as many as I wanted. There we go. So 16 should be plenty to cover us. Now we just need iron, which I've got already. This should get us 5 crystal growth accelerators. Wondrous. So this is also going to work out in the system that we're going to look into. So we have to figure out one last little component, but that's not a big deal. We will actually walk outdoors. We're going to grab a bucket of water to bring with us down into the basement, because the idea is that that basement area that I dug out, that will probably expand as the episodes continue and as the automation continues, that area is going to be kind of like a self-contained auto-crafting station, so everything will get done down here in the end. I guess for now we'll just put it in this corner, and we'll work it out later. So the way that this guy works is that, oops, see, that way, and then that way. Or do I want sideways? Probably want sideways. Is that it requires the same ME power that we have already, which means that we're going to probably need some more cables. In fact, in general, we're going to need a lot of cables, so this is definitely worthwhile as far as looking into things goes. Now, there are a variety of cables we can actually use here, but So, let's go make some more cables for now, and we'll come back to the other cable types that we can use in the future at some point. Right now, we just kind of want to focus on the preliminary kind of requirements that we have. And we're going to make a decent bit of fluix this time. And now we can craft more of these. That should be good enough to get us going. So, again, these will require some ME power, which we can get from our controller over here. So the way this is going to work is I think I'm going to break this guy down, because we don't actually need power on all 4 yet. I say yet because we may eventually. And these do have covers, so don't worry. It may not look great right now, but we can cover this later. And you know me, I'm very aesthetically centered, so it'll probably be sooner rather than later. And I'm going to make a decently large pathway so that we have room to walk. So we can put this guy down. Did not mean to break that anyways. And so we can feed our power down and over like this even and not have to worry with that. So let me grab the Yeta wrench. I want to say that the Yeta wrench will actually work on these. Yes, they will. Very cool. And so if we get these 2 corners, then we should be good. So in theory, if I'm going to put this right there. In theory, this should be powered. All of these should say that they are online. We are good to go, it seems. And so I might... Oh, you know what? I'm going to flip this. I know, I'm so indecisive today. You can tell I haven't recorded in a long time because I'm doing a really bad job at it. Video editing me is going to have fun with this one. So we can actually put these here and here in the other corner instead so that we don't have to use covers here. It is a sort of a easier way of reducing the amount of work we're going to have in the future. So if we do those 2 instead, and still comes around the same way, but this time this one will be covered here, and this will be covered here, and this is looking just fine, magnificent in fact. And now, the reason we did all of this work is that we want to go grab some of that Certus quartz that we have, grind it down in a pulverizer or a sag mill or whatever grinding mechanic I choose, and combine it with sand, and that's going to make us a dust. That's going to turn our dust into a seed, and that seed can be used to, well, to make a more refined version, I guess you could say, of that item. So we're going to want to grab a few things, because we're going to teach our system where things belong, right? So we're going to need to have these available for our sorting system that we're about to write up. Let's see, am I forgetting anything? Nope, good. Put that away. put this over here, and I've got a few basalt rods. There we go. Sorry, inventory cleaning is always a struggle. We won't have to deal with that for too much longer, though. So, we wanted to grab some Certus quartz and a piece of sand, which I think I have plenty of. Great. Now, if we come over here and we grab that, we sag mill one of these down, we're going to get Certus quartz dust. And if we take that and combine it, we're going to get 2 seeds. So notice that we used 1 Certus quartz to make 1 Certus quartz dust to make 2 Certus quartz seeds. So what we're going to do now is with this crystal growth accelerator, we're going to toss these in and wait for them to grow. Alright, so now they have grown. Now, that didn't take too long, and they grew into these Certus quartz crystals that are pure. Now, these can only be used, these are the only ones that can be used to make a printed calculation circuit. You notice if I click on the recipe here, it's not sorting into these typical one. You have to use that one. So, yeah, that's kind of an important detail to remember. So, for all of these guys, we're going to want to do 3, 4, and those here. This one in particular, we want to put the conduit around as well, because we are going to neither insert nor extract here. We just need this connection, but we're not going to actually touch that with a 10-foot pole. Well, kind of are, but you get what I mean. So, the way this is going to work is like so. Both of these are going to be insert and extract, and they're going to have a source and destination, of course. So I'm thinking that the source can be a chest that we put right here, or even a crate eventually, but I don't really care, to be honest. So we can start out here, right? We will go ahead and conduit out. We'll just kind of assume, we can go ahead and assume green, extract, always active. So that way we're going to want to insert on these and extract on a different color. So we can extract on red. So I'm going to change all these to insert, extract on red. And we're going to set these to always active, always active. Let's see. Insert, extract on red, always active. Insert, extract on red, always active. And this one over here, we're going to want it to insert on red and no extract. We're going to do insert on red, extract on black, always active, and I don't know that I can reach this one. Maybe that works. Yeah, insert on red, no extract. So, the reason we did this is because we want to take an item in, put it in here, filtered, extract the output, filtered, and insert the output into here, into the right thing. So this is going to be kind of particular. We're going to want to teach this the following. We're going to want to say, we're going to want 2 filters for each of these, so I may need more. We're going to find that out. Yeah, I do actually need more. Let me go make some more filters. I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got 3 more filters because we're going to want to filter these as well. So, we're going to insert and extract. So for this one, we're going to want to insert silicone on a white list, and we're going to want to extract silicone on a black list. So that way, whatever we put in, when we pull it out, we're not going to pull out the unfinished product. And now we have this guy. Now this guy is a pain, and we can't actually do anything with it until we're all said and done. Now we can set this guy to insert on white, and I'm probably going to tell this guy to extract... Oh, insert on black. Sorry, we already said black, didn't we? So this guy's going to extract on black. We're going to insert on black. So what that means is that anything here should technically have no problem inputting, but won't necessarily be able to output because the way this is routed doesn't have any belonging place for some of these things. So if I put in all 4 of these, well, I'll take this one out. This is going to run. They're all going to go in their respective places. They're all going to compress just like we had before. And some of them are going to go in here, but this isn't really the right order. But that's fine. We're going to fix that. Ah, crud, I forgot one other thing. You know, all this traveling back and forth is making me really look forward to when I actually have my inventory more or less able to be acquired from any place. It's going to be really nice. So, the way we want to do this is we're going to want to say on the bottom, we're going to want to insert whitelist only printed silicon. We're going to want to tell it on the top, insert whitelist only these things. So we only want to, actually I'm going to do it like this, we only want to whitelist these for our insertion. And this guy, we're going to want to tell it, like I was saying, this guy we're going to want to insert whitelist redstone, come on, and we're going to want to extract blacklist redstone so that we only pull out the actual finalized product. Because, strangely enough, these guys insert and extract on the same sides. It's kind of strange. I don't actually like how these guys interface, but that's been a topic of distaste for a very long time. A lot of people haven't liked that for a long time. So, as you can see, I'm short a couple conduit facades. Once those get in, this will be a much cleaner system. But what this means is that if, in theory, I had put, and we can go ahead and do it this way, we can put these together, this is going to process up, and what should hopefully happen is that item is going to extract and go right into here. Boom! So now, with just a single crate, we have those three completely automated. So now the last piece of the puzzle for this Let's Play episode is covering up our mess. So we need the following. We need a way to cover up some ME cables. We need a way to cover up some conduits. And so I think what we need for now is 3 conduit facades and a cable anchor. So the conduit facades will be 2 of that, 1 of this, and our cable anchor needs to be 1 of those things that I think I've already put away, actually. That's unfortunate. But it was... oh, maybe it's a laboratory block? Yeah, it was one of these. Okay, so, conduit facade it is. I don't know if I have any left over. We're going to have to figure that part out. Doesn't appear to be the case, and we only have a little bit of conduit binder. Go me for being very, very unprepared. Alright, well, I guess we'll just make some. I do have gravel. I hardly have gravel. I've got some, but not a lot. So, let's see, we're going to need that. And now I made mention of cable anchors, and the way those work are we need a quartz cutting knife. And I think that's, what, 2? Yeah. And a piece of iron. Cool. 2 of those and a piece of iron. And 2 sticks. I don't have 2 sticks. So we need a quartz cutting knife, and then we need some material. I find just use whatever you've got the most of. I tend to get a lot of iron, so... And now you just take your cable anchor and you do 4 cable anchor pieces around the block you want to mimic, and that gets you some facades for cables. So that gives us a little bit of the way there. We just want to make sure that these get smelted up. I guess we can use our actual proper smelting system over here, but I don't want to run back. We'll just do this. This is fine. Alright, so now we can make the energy, or the conduit facades that we need. I think we just need 3, if I recall. I set everything else out, but then it all got sorted away. So we needed 2 of these. And then 1 of these. So, we'll start with the cable facades. Those are pretty straightforward. They just work kind of how you would think they would, except they actually have a visual for the supporting piece, which is nice. So, there we go. Visually looks the same. And then I've got 1 of these for behind this block, just because, why not? And then I've got these two for right here and right there. That looks good to me. This is a self-contained little system. All 5 of these will work in and out of each other and within each other, and we have the ability to make the pure Certus quartz crystals and a few other pure crystals, by the way. You don't have to just use Certus. You can also use Fluix, which is worth your while, actually, in my opinion. So it's got its potential and its uses for sure. So maybe next episode, well, between episodes, I'll probably use that system to craft up a lot of stuff that we're going to have to craft in the end anyways. So since it's auto-crafted, I'm just going to be basically preemptively ready for that, because there's no sense in just kind of sitting around waiting for stuff to be needed if we can just go ahead and start early. So probably going to go ahead and start with that, and then sooner or later we need to start looking at a couple of other options. I mean, we've got to find a better way to store bulk items, because I don't want to store it all on disks. That's kind of an inefficient way of doing it in the end. So I'm going to work on that a little bit probably in the upcoming episodes, and I've got to figure out at some point I need a better long-term solution for armor, because this is a good temporary one, but definitely not a good long-term one. So we may look into some of that. I don't know how much Thaumcraft has opened up. Maybe by the time we do get around to that point, Thaumcraft may open up enough out of the beta stages that some of the cool Thaumium armor is in great shape and ready to go. And not the Thaumium armor, sorry. The Thaumium, the advanced Thaumium armor is already ready. It's the Void armor I was thinking of. And that stuff's fun, kind of getting yourself fluxed up. So, yeah. I think, clean inventory is good to leave off the episode with. So I think we are good to go. Like I said, I really apologize for being so few and far in between episodes. Just been kind of wrapped up. Now, on that note, would you guys have any remote interest in watching me play that Ocarina of Time randomized? I could totally do a Let's Play of that. I would dig it. I haven't, everything I need to do it, and I think it'd be super fun to do. But I don't know, I know my channel is mostly based around Minecraft material and media, so I feel like I'd really be letting someone down if I didn't continue just that. The modding tutorial thing, basically, I killed that myself just because I couldn't think of... I don't know. It just didn't have the right structure to me. I felt like it just wasn't the kind of thing that I was going to be as good at as I wanted to be, so I just kind of didn't see the sense in wasting the time in doing that when it wasn't really going to help anybody realistically. Ooh, look at the new quark flame particle effect. This is awesome. I love that. That looks really great. But yeah, so that's kind of why I killed off of that episode, or that series. But if you would want to watch an Ocarina of Time series, I could totally do that. I could probably start and finish an entire save file probably in a week in a Let's Play series. Because I managed to do it in 5 days, or 4 days without. So, it's just something for you guys to maybe leave in the comments if you would. Just let me know what you would think about that. It wouldn't replace Minecraft content. I would still be keeping up with my 2 episodes, minimum of 2 episodes a month. Sorry, I just completely blanked there. So it would go alongside that. It would just be something I would do for fun if I want to leisurely play a game and not worry about crafting and micro mechanics and how do I want to make this not look like crap. Sometimes being creative and coming up with ideas on your own like this gets really taxing for me. So, the nice thing about the Ocarina of Time randomizer is it's random, so you just have to think. You don't have to, think in a way that requires approval. You just think. So, well, enough babbling once again. I'll see you guys in the next one.